Mortal Kombat 1 is getting 14 more DLC characters. That's right, you heard me correctly. Beloved data miner himself, the Thinny, has found 20 DLC slots for Mortal Kombat 1 in the source files. So if we take that number and subtract these 6 characters from Combat Pack 1, that still leaves us with 14 more characters on the way. For some reason, Shang Tsung doesn't count though. Even though he is technically a DLC character, he's not listed in these 20 slots. Today, we'll be discussing who these DLC characters most likely will be, and also which characters I personally want, because it's my video, let me dream. But as you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so let me know in the comment section which characters do you want the most to return for Mortal Kombat 1. Like I keep saying in every single video, I truly do read all the comments, so grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Another day means another Mortal Kombat 1 video, and every now and then a Tekken 8 video as well. So if you want to stay up to date, then make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. And then after watching, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below, it helps the channel out a ton. And without any further ado, let's begin. Starting off with the cyborgs, that's right, Sector and Cyrax. I think these two characters deserve to be in the game not just as cameos, but as fully playable characters. And like we already saw in Sub-Zero's ending, the Lin Kuei is starting the Cyber Initiative, which means it's very likely these two beloved robots will end up in Mortal Kombat 1, which would simply be fantastic. I think Ketchup and Mustard deserve it. They're fantastic content creators, and also keep in mind, Mortal Kombat 1 is the new era, right? So I'm wondering what might be different with these cyber ninjas. Maybe they won't be completely cyberized and instead just use cybernetic weaponry to enhance their combat. Or even if they are cyberized, it's not to the extent they've been in the previous game. So they still have their personality, you can see their face, you get the idea. That would be really cool, I think. Also, I've heard rumors online and on social media that Cyrax might be a lady in this new timeline. I can't confirm that at all. As far as I know, it's just a rumor, but that could be interesting and certainly different. Let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about that, because now it's time for two more characters that I'm pretty sure are going to be in the game, Jade and Noob Saibot. And I've already made a full video for each of these characters, and I don't want to repeat myself here, so I'll keep things simple. And in summary, the developers have heavily hinted at these two characters returning in Mortal Kombat 1, and it's also very heavily rumored they're going to return in Combat Pack 2. But next up, let's talk about the Order Realm, Sado, or Sido, because for some reason in Mortal Kombat 1 it's pronounced differently. I'm not sure if that's because NetherRealm made a mistake or they just wanted to change the pronunciation for some reason, but I digress. My point is, the Order Realm is mentioned a lot in Mortal Kombat 1, and as a result I think it's very possible that we get a fighter to represent Order Realm. And any longtime Mortal Kombat fan watching this video knows who I'm talking about, ya boy Hotaru. Yes, I know that Havoc is technically from Order Realm in the new timeline, but he doesn't count. He's not an agent of Order. I want the main man himself to return. He's got a really cool design, especially with the armor, and I prefer the helmet to stay on. He looks really dope. And since Mortal Kombat 1 is already a clear love letter to the 3D era fans, just go ahead and give us one more. Let us play as Hotaru and fully realize his combat and playstyle. Next up, let's talk about Serena, because according to the writers at NetherRealm Studios, the arcade ladder endings for each character are actually canon. And guess what happens in Ashura's ending? That's right, she frees Serena from Quan Chi's control, and as a result it's completely possible that we can play as her, especially in a story mode expansion, which would make her a perfect DLC character. And I've been saying for a while now that I want to see Serena fully realized. Even though she's always been a pretty popular character among the fans, I feel like she's never been that unique gameplay wise. She throws knives like Kano, she does some kicks, and she can use fire, which would be cool, except we're talking Mortal Kombat here. There's like 10 characters that can use fire. But thankfully in Mortal Kombat 1, the developers finally gave her a devil trigger, and that would make her super interesting to play as. Let us transform Serena into her demon form and then get an entirely new moveset to mess around with. How sick would that be? Two characters in one, just like Shang Tsung and General Shao. Now some of you watching might be saying, underdog, Serena's already in the game as a cameo fighter. She's not going to be a fully playable character. But I think that's not true. I think it's very possible she could be, because the roster already has duplicate characters. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Kung Lao, etc. are cameo characters but also fully playable. So I'm just saying, keep your fingers crossed. If your favorite character is a cameo, that doesn't mean they can't be a fully playable character at some point in the future. Don't lose hope. Alright, so back on track. In Ashura's ending, not only is Serena freed from Quan Chi's control, but they also team up and start killing a lot of Quan Chi's minions known as the Sisterhood of Shadow. And can you think of anybody who might get upset over Quan Chi failing that hard? Like, I don't know, maybe his boss? That's right, Shinok, the king of hell himself. I think it's about time for this necromancer to come back in Mortal Kombat 1. Now with that being said, does it make sense for Shinok to come back in this new era that Liu Kang made all squeaky clean? No. It would make zero sense for Shinok to be evil in this timeline and also rule over the Netherrealm, but I don't care what you gotta do, find a way to put him in the game if you can. Even if you gotta pull some dumb multiverse shenanigans, and gosh, I'm so tired of multiverses. I hope they stop this year. But not until we get Shinok, okay? Find a way to put him in the game, even if it means some non-canonical version. I don't care. Or hey, maybe Shinok is a good guy in Mortal Kombat 1. Maybe Liu Kang kept him from the dark side. Or maybe he's already trapped in the Netherrealm, and because Quan Chi can quite literally make portals, he's going to walk into the Netherrealm and just free Shinok, and that's how he's back. And now finally, there's one more character who I think canonically could be a DLC character, and is also a popular favorite character in the Mortal Kombat fanbase, ya boy Onaga. That's right, do it Netherrealm, finally make him a playable character. Not just a boss character, I'm talking finally a fully realized competitively viable tournament character. I understand Onaga was playable in Armageddon, that's fantastic, but also he was like his own genre of character. He was a boss character in that game, and they all played very differently from the regular characters. You couldn't throw them, but also their moveset was super limited. The combos weren't as creative, not as many special moves, and I'm not even sure if they could jump looking back on it, but I could be wrong about that fact. Maybe they could jump, but like just barely? I don't think they had air combos, or at least Onaga didn't, but you get my point, right? I want them to be normal playable characters this time around, that way they can do all the stuff that everyone else on the roster can do, right? Air juggles and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that about does it for the characters who I think will return as DLC characters, so now it's time to talk about the characters that I simply want to return, like Kabal. This guy is way too cool to miss out on any Mortal Kombat game. If I had the power to make it so, Kabal would be on the base roster of every Mortal Kombat game. The dude's got super speed, really cool looking weapons, a gas mask, and gadgets and weaponry of all kinds. He's super cool. Put him in every game. And speaking of characters that I think should be in every game, Nightwolf. Why is Nightwolf not the base roster for every single game? The guy has spiritual powers, can summon spirit animals, he fires a bow and arrow, which is always cool. He's got freaking tomahawks and combat knives. The guy is just too cool. Put him in the game, please. And once again, it's the new era, so feel free to put a creative spin on it somehow. Next up, we have Kai. A lot of you watching may have no clue who I'm talking about, because Kai's only appeared in 2 games, and one of those games was Armageddon that had everybody. But even so, I've always thought that Kai would be the perfect character to return. The guy does some capoeira style fighting, which makes him really unique, his origin is super cool, and for Mortal Kombat 4, in his arcade ladder ending, Raiden gave him his staff and was like, yo, you're going to be my champion. So yeah, the new era of Mortal Kombat 1 could do a lot of interesting things with Kai. I think it's about time he made his return, and also I'm kinda shocked he hasn't been in the game yet. And speaking of characters who I think deserve a comeback and should return as a fully playable character, why not Kintaro? We've had Goro in Mortal Kombat X and Shiva in Mortal Kombat 11, so now it's time for Goro. Give him his moment in the spotlight. Because not only does Kintaro deserve a chance, and he's waited long enough, but also imagine Team Shokan. Kintaro and Goro playing as both at the same time? That sounds so cool. Make it happen. And now finally, the last character that I do hope returns in Mortal Kombat 1, but I'm not sure if it's likely, Jax. And I mean a fully playable version of Jax, but here's the catch. Don't take off his arms this time. Instead, make it like Mortal Kombat 3, where he wears the enhancements on top of his human arms just to make himself fight even better. That's right, a lot of you watching might not know this because Jax keeps losing his arms in all the movies and games, but originally that did not happen. He just wore metal arms on top of his real arms. But in the classic games, that never happened. He just wore cybernetic enhancements over his regular human arms. And that's exactly what I want if Jax does return in the new era. Even if it's not Mortal Kombat 1 and the sequel game instead, don't take off his arms this time, just give him enhancements. Alright everyone, there you have it. Every character in Mortal Kombat 1 that I think will return, or that I want to return at the very least. And now I leave it up to you. Let me know in the comment section which characters you want most to return in Mortal Kombat 1. Grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. And also, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps my channel out a ton, and then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.